No, I really don't agree with this idea, but I can probably get behind it if they did it in every other state. I'm of the belief that there's two genders. Those of you who know me or watch my shows know that there's males and there's females. I believe that. I know that to be true, like everybody else. But if Rhode Island and cities and towns in Rhode Island are going to pay residents money every month to identify as something else, shit, I'm jumping on board, and I will identify as anything that they want to hear if they want to pay me. Sacramento, California, City Council voted unanimously back in March, I believe March 24th, to pay residents $900 per month based solely on identifying as trans or non-binary. Oh, I'm not kidding. This is how bad the liberals need votes. They know the midterms are coming, which roughly 7 months away. They're going to do anything and everything in their power to make sure their local leaders get in office. The money funded by the taxpayers will be given for 18 months at an advocacy-based health center called DAP, D-A-P, and the LGBTQ advocacy group QueerWorks will manage the program. Now, it's taxpayer money being managed by an LGBTQ advocacy group. How is that even possible? How are they even able to have control over taxpayer funds is beyond me. But that just goes to show you the woke liberal politics in California. I'm sure Newsom's behind it. Newsom's behind anything and everything that will force people to vote for these Democrats, especially in a state like California, that basically that should just fall in the ocean. It should just fall in the ocean because everything they do is backwards. Everything they do is wrong. All they do is care about the rich people and the transgender community. They care about nothing else. Oh, they care about the celebrities too. I'm sorry. They cater to them. All the rich will give you more money. We'll vote for you. We'll give you millions. Come on. Keep all this bullshit going. Make sure we're safe. Fuck everybody else. But I don't want to go off on that. Anyways, DAP CEO David Brinkman claimed to reporters that the trans population is one of the most marginalized populations in the city who face high levels of housing insecurity, joblessness, and discrimination. Well, the joblessness I don't know about, but the discrimination I'll say okay, and I only say okay because the way they present themselves. They present themselves as, look at me, look what I'm doing, you have to go along with me, or you're a bad person. If they just acted like normal people, even though I believe that's not normal, but act normal. You want to be trans, you want to be whatever, go ahead, but you don't need to broadcast it and publicize it and flaunt it every time you leave the house. You wonder why people discriminate against you. It's not because of you and what you're doing. It's the way you present yourself. You throw it out there, you shove it down people's throats, and people are sick and tired of hearing it. As far as unemployment is concerned, you cannot physically blame companies for not hiring you based on what you identify as. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to say that if I had 2, 3, 10 people applying for a job, I'm going to go through all their qualifications, no matter what color they are, what race they are, what gender they are. Whoever's qualified to do the job that's being offered is the one who's going to get it. I'm not giving it to the transgender person if they're not qualified for the job. But these people insist that it's all discriminatory. They didn't give me the job based on what I believe. No, that's not true. The truth of the matter is, you're just not qualified for that job. They gave it to the person, and say it was a man or a woman, they gave it to that person because they were the most qualified for the job. Now, if the transgender woman or transgender man was the most qualified, guess what? They'd get the job because most of these people don't give a shit what you're doing. They want the highest quality people for their businesses because in the long run, they're trying to make money. That's what businesses do. So I'm tired of hearing about the employment discrimination bullshit too. They also say that there's enormous challenges that they face to live their full, authentic lives. Now, let me get into that for a minute. Their full, authentic lives. That's like William Thomas. We all know who William Thomas is, the trans swimmer, Leah. Well, William knew his whole life that he was a girl, but he didn't decide to come out as trans until he knew he sucked as a male swimmer. And I talked about this in another show. He knew he sucked as a male swimmer. He wanted to be somebody, so I'm going to become Leah. I'm going to tuck my you-know-what, and I'm going to put on a girl's bathing suit, and I'm going to be trans, and I'm going to swim, and I'm going to win. And that's exactly what he did. And everybody's clapping and cheering, hooting and hollering for this fucking guy. He didn't win shit. He deserves to win nothing. But again, that was in another show. But how are they being held back to living their authentic lives when they're not living their authentic lives? Their authentic life is what they are when they're born. And again, they can live however they want to live. Just don't throw it down your throat. Don't force it. Don't flaunt it. Don't publicize it. Don't broadcast it. Because again, for the millionth time, no one gives a shit. But for politicians to think that it's okay to pay a certain group of people money per month just because they identify as something, that is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard since this trans LGBTQ shit started coming to the forefront a few years ago. Yeah, it's always been out there, but now it's so prevalent. That's all we see. We see it day in, day out. But these politicians actually want to pay these people. Just give them free money because they want to walk around as a man or a woman if they're not. Or if they want to have their hair colored 6 different colors, or it's just so, it's so disgusting that this is where we've come, and everybody's okay with it. Everybody's okay. Nobody is stepping in to stop this bullshit, except one person. But that's Florida. We all know how Ron DeSantis feels about this garbage. And quite frankly, he doesn't give a shit about trans people, but he doesn't want people teaching it to children like they're doing in schools. Hence, the Parental Rights and Education Act. But in California, you could definitely understand why this is happening. Because A, Newsom is a fucking idiot. And he'll do anything and everything to stay in office. We all know he beat a recall, which I'm going to say he beat that recall just like Joe Biden won in 2020. But that's just my opinion. But for a city council to approve up to $900 a month, free money, you do nothing for it. All you have to do is say, I don't identify as a man or a woman. I'm non-binary. Some days I'm a man, some days I'm a woman, some days I'm a fucking Diet Coke. It doesn't matter. As long as you go to them and say, this is what I do, you're going to be eligible for the money, and they're going to give it to them. What about the low income people who go to work making minimum wage, who are males and females? Why aren't they eligible for the money? Because they don't want to walk around in a different gender's clothes and change the color of their hair 10 times a week, or go in parades and protest this garbage? That is discrimination. It's not discrimination to not give a trans person a job, again, because they're most likely not qualified. And I'm not saying trans people aren't qualified or highly educated, because we see it everywhere. They're school teachers. You need a master's degree to be a teacher. These people are intelligent. They're intelligent enough to know that, oh shit, I can get so much further if I just say I'm something else. And that's what they're doing. And they're saying they're discriminated against. No, the people who are being discriminated against are the low-income families in any state, any city and town. This just happens to be California, where it costs a fortune to live as it is. But you're going to give people, you're just going to throw the money, $900 a month, no matter what their income is. So if they're making $40,000 a year, you're giving them $900 a month. If they're making $100,000 a year, you're giving them $900 a month, based on what they say they identify as. That, my friends, is the worst case of liberal politics I have ever seen in my 57 years on this earth. I've seen a lot. We all have. All the trash politics, all the bullshit, all the stealing of elections, so they say, and all this garbage has been thrown out there to us our whole lives. But for a group of politicians to sit in a room and debate a subject and come to the conclusion that we think it's okay to pay these people money for 18 months just because they're trans or non-binary, because we all know they're so discriminated against, and they're having trouble getting jobs, and they're having trouble finding secure housing. Shut the hell up. All this is a push to the midterm elections, because the Democrats know that they're going to get crushed because of the fool standing in the White House. End of story. Bottom line. That's why they're doing this, and I won't be surprised if we don't see more of this coming out soon, because all the blue states need help. They need help re-electing their politicians to keep all their bullshit going, and this is one way they can do it, by giving money to people to say they identify as something else. Again, you want to do it here? I'll call myself anything you want me to call myself. I don't give a shit if you want to give me free money. And I'll take it too. I don't care. I'm not ashamed. I'll take it. Because half the people that are probably going to take that money are full of shit. They're seeing dollar signs. They're seeing a way to make extra money every month for doing absolutely nothing but saying you're a man who always knew that he was a woman, or vice versa. It's such garbage, it's such bullshit, and it's actually laughable that we have elected officials who debate this shit and who vote on it and agree to do this, all because they know the Democrats are going to get crushed in November. Okay? Give the money. You want to give free money? Give it to low-income people who work 2 or 3 jobs and are barely making ends meet, and are barely putting food on their table. Never mind giving money to people because they call themselves another gender, or they don't know what gender they are. They're 15 different people. Shut the hell up. It's all garbage. Wake up, America. This country is going to hell in a handbasket with these people. And this is a prime example of it. They will do anything they can do to secure votes for Democrats, and this is a prime example of it. End of story. End of rant. this is where we live. This is how we live today. We live by just any rules they want to make. They come up with these ideas. Let's give people money because, oh, look at him. He's wearing a dress today. Doesn't he look pretty? Let's give him $900 a month. It's such bullshit. And that's it. I'm going to end it right here. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already liked this video, please hit the like button and click the notification bell and subscribe to my channel if you will. I appreciate all of you. I hope everybody's healthy and safe. If you share my videos with your friends, I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a comment and let me know what you think about it, because you know how I think about it. I think this is absolute garbage. It's absolute bullshit. And all it is politicians looking for votes. That's it. Again, I hope everybody's healthy and safe. I'll see you next time with something else to rant about. So stay tuned. And again, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and click the like button for me if you will. I really appreciate it. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon.